My name is Michael Leal, and I've been invited to come visit the emerald mines of Muzo Colombia. The roads here are treacherous, even on the best of days. I find myself with my companions, Melqui, Magda, and Nati, all on our way to the most remote places in Colombia. This one is called Muso. Roads that have no way of being traversed by ordinary vehicles. A 4x4 is necessary. We find ourselves coming to hairpin turns off of cliffs that dive off to 300 meters below. At any time, at any given place, we can find ourselves at the bottom of a ravine. As we climb back further into our seats, we realize a car that passed us 2 minutes ago is now pitched on the side of a hill. We step out to render aid. It pinned itself on the side of a hill rather than going into a ravine. We stopped and rendered aid as much as we could. We flipped the car straight side up, but nevertheless, the car was stuck. We continued on to Muso. As we see Muso down in the valley below, nestled in between two mountain ranges of the Andes, we find ourselves coming to our last bank before we see the sign, Muzo Colombia. I've waited over 12 years to come here, and now finally I'm here. As we see Muso down in the valley below, nestled in the Andean mountains, we realized we finally had come to our destination. Muso. 12 years I've waited to come here, and now, finally, I am here. I realize it is a small city, a few thousand people at best, nestled here in the Andean mountains. After 7 hours of driving, we finally arrive. We are exhausted. We look for the first hotel we can check into, bathe, relax, and prepare ourselves for the morning. We leave early in the morning. It's foggy, it's wet, can't hardly see anything. But we do know that there are drop-offs right off the sides of the roads. So we're careful. We drive slow. Make sure we know exactly where we're going. Our guide, Melqui Rodriguez, has been here all his life, knows the roads very well. He continues to show us where events have happened on these very roads. Things we won't talk about now, but things have happened on this road. Bad things. As we come down the southwestern side of the mountain, we head for the riverbed. That's where the emeralds are. That's where the emerald mines begin. Some are new. Some have been there for over decades, and some have been there hundreds of years. I film everything I can. I want to document this trip. I want to show where things come from. I always have. Muso being the place where the most expensive emeralds in the world come from. I wanted to know where they came from. I wanted to know exactly which mines and how they were extracted. I wanted to know these things because I sell emeralds. I import them into the United States. I wanted to know exactly where I was bringing these things from, not just from Bogota, but from which mines. Muso, Cosquez, Chivor, Lapita, Cunas. These are the world's most famous emerald mines, and they all reside here in Colombia. Although the roads are dangerous and even treacherous at times, we can't help but feel in awe of the beauty of the Andean mountains and forests that surround us. Literally, we are looking for emeralds in an emerald forest. As we pass miners on their way to work, we realize we're now in the right area. The mining area of Muso. As we get closer to the mines, we pass by these makeshift little shanty towns with no names. The miners stay here for the night. It's too far away to go back to the main city of Muso every day, so they stay here and sleep in between their shifts. As we make our way to the Muso riverbed, we cannot help but feel concerned. Melky has a great truck, a new truck, a 4x4. But out here, anybody can get stuck. And if we get stuck, we could get stuck here for a long time. Days, perhaps weeks. It may be a long time before we get back to Bogota. We leave the riverbed for a while, only to come back to it later. And this time, Milky's truck is put to the test. We're going across the riverbed. We trust Milky. We know that he knows where to go. We know that he knows these roads. But like I said before, anybody can get stuck out here, anytime. But we trek on. Milky, we trust him. We know he knows this area. We hope he knows all the roads. At least we pray that much. At this mining camp, they're doing mostly above ground mining, which is to say they sift through refuse brought out from the mines themselves. They sift through them and they sift through them just to find a few points and carats of emeralds. It's one of the oldest ways of mining there is. It hasn't changed much in 10,000 years. As we drive along the riverbed, we come across a suspension bridge. It carries people from one side of the riverbed to the other. It looks precarious. It looks like it's been there a long time. We continue on. The riverbed looks like rapids in mud, frozen in time. It looks hazardous, but we press on. We come down to a point in the riverbed where another mining site has begun. We stop and ask some questions. We look around. We find somebody Milky knows. He calls him over. We talk to him for a while. See what he has to say. The miner speaks in an accent very few can understand. It is very regional. It is from Boyacá. It is in an accent very few understand, and foreigners even less. Miren la calle. Allá. So we leave the riverbed to go to our next mining site, where we have an appointment to talk to the general manager. They've allowed us to film, an offer rarely given in the emerald mining industry. So we press on. We finally arrive at Los Españoles Emerald Mine, run by the Sepulveda family, Alberto and Ricardo Sepulveda. They allowed us to film and go inside the mine, something they're rarely given permission to do in Colombia. Emerald miners are cautious. Even when they do have a big strike, they keep it secret for many reasons. So allowing us to go to the mines and film was really a special opportunity and a special gift from the Sepulveda family. Milky arranged this for us. As we prepare to go inside the mine, Natalia smiles. Magda, always a pro, ready to go. And Milky, distributor and seller of emeralds in Colombia. All of us preparing to go inside the mine, where safety comes first and foremost. We're given a quick mining rule: never leave your side, never leave the side of another, and to always watch each other's backs. Make sure that we know where we're going.
Aquí entramos con Ricardo Sepulveda, dueño de estas minas. Okay.
As I prepare to go into the mine, Natalia takes her last photo of me.
Get ready to go in the mine.
Before I enter, I think twice about what I'm doing. I wonder if this is the right thing to do. Actually, I thought it was the only thing I could do. I had to confront this. I had to see for myself. I wanted to see. I wanted to know where emeralds came from. There are about 1,000 ways you can die in a mine, but the most dangerous is venomous gas. It can erupt anywhere and any time. It's odorless, and it kills. 2.5 years ago, 4 miners died, all from venomous gas. We check ourselves, we check each other's faces to make sure that we're not being poisoned. As we go to about 150 meters inside the mine, we begin to realize the air is becoming thicker, the heat building. We realize that we're no longer in a safe area. We continue onward until we get to a large hole, about 50 feet deep. As we come closer and closer, we realize even more so that we are far from the surface and we're about to go farther. we're about to go farther and even deeper than we had imagined. This was not a traditional emerald mine, where it just went into the side of the hill or mountain. This was an emerald mine that went down over 150 meters in the mountain and another 60 meters down into the core of the mountain. Wow. For safety and precaution, they place a harness on me as I descend a 50-foot hole in the ground. Something I just don't do every day. I realize now that what I'm doing is a little bit further and farther than I've gone in a mine before. The precautions are being taken. I'm being safe.
Say hello.
As I descend into a 50-foot hole, I realize if I fall or slip, there's not much chance of me being able to survive this. At best, I'll be paralyzed. At worst, I'll be dead. But as I continue to go down one step at a time, with the harness attached, I feel a little bit better. As I descend, I feel the temperature rising. It is about 115 degrees down where I'm at now, and it's only going to get hotter. As Natalia descends, we both look up and realize we're far from help. There are no hospitals or clinics nearby. From this point on, we must be extra careful. So we take the necessary precautions. As I look upon Natalia and Magdalena, I realize for the first time how brave these women are to descend into the most treacherous mines of Colombia, to follow me to find out where these Colombian emeralds come from.
Ricardo Sepulveda, dueño de las minas.
Descending down the ladder now is Ricardo Sepulveda, our guide, and the son of the owner of the mine. He knows this mine better than anyone. He's agreed to take us to the most deepest part of the mine, where they're following veins as we speak.
Can't believe I'm here.
They look for veins called betas, and they keep looking and looking for the largest. They follow them to the very extremes of the earth in the search for esmeraldas,
Wow.
emeralds.
Increíble. Grande.
This is one of the eldest mines. It's called Los Españoles for a reason. The Spaniards first discovered it here over 500 years ago. And they continue to search this very mine for the most precious emeralds in the world. The famous Muso emeralds.
Pero eso lo están sacando del otro lado, ¿cierto? ¿De acá?
In these extreme parts of the mine, it's very hot,
Pero.
at least 115 degrees, sometimes 120.
Magda.
You can come to faint and hit your head on the sides of the walls. Very dangerous at this point in the mine. People fall unconscious all the time. They must be careful and always wear a headgear, for these rocks are solid granite sometimes and can cause much damage.
Wow. Ahí está Manuel, nuestro puntero. Buenas. El señor Porras, el delegado.
Wow, siguiendo la beta.
These are called betas.
Wow.
They're large veins of crystal, shale, and pyrite. They follow these veins until they yield a green emerald. Emeralds grow around shale and crystallite and pyrite. So the more they find, the more they dig. And they dig, and they dig, until they find the mother lode, the emerald, the Muso emerald, the one that brings the most value in the world, the emerald that costs 3 times more than any other emerald anywhere else in the world, comes from this very mine.
Estoy con él.
The miners teach me how they follow the veins, which directions, why they go further down deeper or why they go further aside or up. Veins have a characteristic all their own. Each vein is different. The walls here are lined with pyrite and crystallite, small miniature veins.
Cuando el esfuerzo está punteando y están haciendo esto, ves que hay esas inclusiones o inclusiones así.
They all culminate here in the corner where the miners are working.
Muy verde.
Ah, ok.
¿Ya?
¿Cuánto sigue abajo eso?
The miners let me know what direction they're going in when they're following these veins. They show me where they found them before and where they continue to look for them now.
Les ha rendido bastante, mamá. Ya se ha encontrado.
Mira aquí está.
Ah, sí. Está trabajando en este túnel.
Pero mira dónde va. Mira esto.
Ajá.
Están rompiendo para ellos llegar hasta allá y van a llegar más allá. Van haciendo los huecos y meten dinamita y hacen.
Ya que empezamos a desde el carro izquierdo.
Ya más allá.
Está acostumbrado al calor, ¿no?
As we go deeper, Ricardo, our guide, wants to take us to another site that they're working on, about 50 meters further. So we walk in the darkness to a new site area where a new vein has been found. But this vein goes up to about 40 feet,
Okay.
and they've been following it ever since they saw it in the walls down below. As we scale the walls up, we realize this is a dangerous part of the mine. It is not your traditional area where people are working. This area of the mine, Ricardo Sepulveda warns us, is dangerous.
Sí.
But we have to see.
Okay.
We have to continue to see.
Vayan, ayuden a Natalia a subir ahí, por favor.
Sí.
It's recording. Could you? Yes. Extreme mining 3.
As we go up, we look to see what they're looking at. 2 huge white crystallite veins. They follow the crystallite veins because next to crystallite and shale and pyrite are also emeralds. So we go where they go, and we follow them to the extreme parts of the mine in the hopes of finding what that green emerald looks like. The hard-sought beryl, Colombian emerald.
Hasta ahí. Ya me bajo y te subes un poquito para que veas la zona de pica verde que hay. ¿Así es? Pero todavía no. Primero baja ella. Pero yo me bajo para que puedas subir porque acá no sabemos. Allá hay un poco de verde. No sé si quieres arriba bajar y esta zona tiene toda posibilidad. Ahí ya puedes preguntar. Es muy estrecho como verde.
As we examine where these miners are working now, we realize they're working on a vein of emeralds, veins of crystallite, veins of shale mixed with pyrite, all within this one little corner. They look for the green, they look for the pyrite, they look for the shale and the slate, they look for all the crystallite, they look for it all to come together, and when it does, you see these veins, these large white crystallite veins, and then you see the emerald, the green, the emerald green, the emeralds that live in the walls for millions of years before they come to light.
¿Tenés bien? No, ya. Sí. Tienen que tener cuidado acá al bajar o yo, Natalia. Acá debe ser incómodo trabajar, ¿no?
Lo que pasa es que esto es un trabajo temporal que estamos haciendo en escuela, no es un trabajo permanente.
No, pero yo digo, mientras que hacen sacan como la, ¿cómo se llama? La zona. Ay, no creo que quede. Tiene que tener cuidado con la cabeza. Bueno, y así se ve pinta de necesito.
As I reflect back on the photos from our trip to the mine, I realize the danger that we were in. We sat on 2x4s and 2x6s in order to get to some of the areas of the mine. We didn't have to. We wanted to. We wanted to see everything that they saw. We wanted to know everything that they knew. I wanted to see the mine for myself, and I did. I made new friends, and I continued old friendships. I made new relations with new people in new areas of my life. I made discoveries, as small as a carrot, some as large as 3. And then I continued. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to see more. As drops of sweat dropped down my face, I realized being down here for an hour and a half to 2 hours, while these men spent 8 hours a day, was no easy chore. Each canister weighed 500 pounds. Each person breathing meant it was going to get hotter and hotter. These conditions can sometimes be dangerous. But I knew I was with the right people, at the right place, at the right time. As I wait for Natalia to go up first, I realize that she's having a difficult time breathing. The mind itself can bring havoc to your senses. You begin to wonder if you can do things. Sometimes I wonder if people following me to go to these places shouldn't come. It's too dangerous. Sometimes I wonder if I should come. But I just had to. I had to see for myself after 12 years. What was it like? Foreigners haven't come here for 30 years. What was it like before then? Now that I'm here, I see for the first time where emeralds come from. And now I'm going to see where they go. As we make our way back to Bogota, I find myself reflecting, going over every scene, every relationship I made. And I wonder where these rough emeralds I'm taking back to Bogota are going to go to. Who's going to cut them? What jeweler's going to set them And more importantly, when will they be ready for export? I'm going to watch these emeralds. I'm going to watch them go back to the United States. I'm going to watch them sold to the highest bidder. Then I'll know where emeralds come from and how they get to where they're going. Visit us at Emeralds, Emeralds, and More Emeralds on Facebook.